I just learned that Meghan Markle's new show with Love Meghan was renewed for season 2. And I have to talk about it. I really do. Reading that, I don't think I was shocked, of course. It is very evident that Meghan Markle is a narcissist. She is incapable of leaving the limelight. She will not leave the public headline of the newspapers ever. I am shocked, however, that it is Netflix. It is her show, her cooking show, that nobody thought was good. Everybody hated it. And it's back. It's back again for season 2. And just like we were manipulated last time for season 1, that there would be actual interesting things to talk about. Harry, the kids, the recipes. We're led to believe that it's going to happen in season 2. She is manipulating us in the same way again. And I'm really shocked by that. Because it's just one of those ethical things. She doesn't care about her audience's time or whatever. She knows that she's hated, but at the same point, she's also a narcissist. So she doesn't care. She doesn't care that the audience doesn't like her. She doesn't care that nobody wants to watch this show and that they're only gonna watch it to look for like flaws in her character. She just wants to be viewed, and I find that even more disturbing. Is the persona that she puts on in general is like, I'm going to present this fake narrative and come on screen and do all this stuff, and you guys are gonna have to eat it up and love it and watch all like 90 seasons of it with no actual substance. Or maybe it's one of those things where she genuinely does plan to put like Harry, and I don't think the kids exist, but the kids actors, I guess, in season 2, and actual interesting stuff like her recipes. But then in season 1, she's going to try to win us over, because that's the whole point of her show, is to reinstate her character. She thinks that she's misrepresented and misunderstood. She feels that once the audience understands her, that they will like her, which is not the case. The only people that understand her and know her are people that hate her. And they know that she is a narcissist, and that she has no empathy, and that this persona, this genuine persona that she puts on, it's an act. That is who she really is. And I've talked about it before in my last video, but she has no personality. And she has to draw off other people for personality. In the first season, her friends, or people she pretends to be her friends and like pays off or whatever, or maybe doesn't even pay them at all, like their reputation is just even ruined by being associated with her. But in season 2, she's going to leech off of the closest people to her, allegedly. Harry, the kids, and the recipes that she's probably also stolen and aren't coming from her. I would be interested to watch how she is going to do it in season 2. Whether she's going to copy someone else or copy Pamela Anderson again with outfits and aesthetic and everything, or if it's going to be the same. Because somebody else said it and it was perfect, which is that it's a long series with simple ideas and only a set number of ideas. There's no broadening of it. It's just drawn out ideas. She's basically beating the show with a paddle and just seeing what comes out. And of course these are like surface level things, like her going and seeing the bees, because she needs to copy Catherine. She does not have a single independent idea or thought to put into her cooking show, except for things that like fuel her ego, if that makes sense. Because not only does she have to copy Catherine, she has to do it better, which obviously she doesn't. People love Catherine just for the fact that she's authentic. She is a real person. She has a real personality. She has a real husband. She has a real family. And I think that's the case of why Meghan Markle is jealous of Catherine in the first place. And also why Meghan Markle hates Charlotte. It's because Meghan Markle had her hysterectomy, and she is jealous of Catherine's fertility and her ability to be a good wife and a good mother. And that is also, by extension, why she resents baby Charlotte, who did nothing to her, obviously. It's because she is jealous that she will never have any kids of her own. And, like, a normal person wouldn't think that. Like, they could adopt a kid or do surrogacy, like, which is alleged. I personally think that the kids do not exist. In that, I mean, it's a secret that isn't kept well. It is an unkept secret that everybody in this niche knows, but they seldom talk about it because it's kind of weird and kind of painful too. But it's like, you have Archie's first word being crocodile, and the Invictus Game speech of Meghan saying, oh yeah, the kids grow and they change and all of this stuff. And it couldn't be more obvious that the children don't exist, or if they do exist, they do not live with Meghan, especially. Like, some people think it's Harry's kids with another woman or a side deal. And I think that is a lot more logical, because Meghan cannot include, I talked about this before too, but Meghan, the reason why she fails in her identity as a brand and as a business is because she has no side characters. Most people need side characters to continue on, because it is like the family aspect or like the multiple people aspect that makes it interesting. For Meghan Markle, she has none of that. Harry is in New York or wherever he is. The kids, again, they don't exist. And my main point, I don't know if I'm making it very well, but it's that Meghan wants to be number one. Because I do believe that because of her blatant narcissism, that other people don't want to be around her. Like, Harry sure doesn't. Where is he? But also, on the opposite side, she doesn't want to be around anybody else. The attention is only on her. H.D. Tudor said it perfectly. She wears beige and all of these beige, boring outfits because she wants the attention to be on her, and on her specifically. And the only reason why she allows other people to be around is to suck, or just to, just steal a personality from them, and also steal experiences and memories. Just like a narcissist, she is incapable of any sort of form of helpfulness, or what's it called? Just intrinsic good-natured actions. She has to have some benefit. And this comes at risk to everyone around her. I just heard about her show with Love Meghan having a season 2 today, and I am really interested to see how it will play out. Because surely with season 1, because people, like I said earlier, people think that season 1 was boring, season 2 is going to have all the good stuff. And I can't help but think that it's going to be the exact opposite. She went through all of her ideas, her best ideas, in the season 1 to wow us all, and to change her public perception of her. And in season 2, she's going to have nothing. And if anything, the production is going to be even more rushed, because she knows that Netflix is not going to renew her. So she films this extra footage, or like they split it up, so that season 2 is even the more bare bones. And I think that we can see a more real version of her, because there's a less like camera angles and manipulation by the editors of Netflix to make her seem more normal, if that makes sense. Instead of like playing like a laugh track or like some weird music to like cover up her blatant lack of personality and charm, I think there's going to be less effort put into it and more just expressions of like the slips of her character, if that makes sense. And I'm so excited to see it. I really am. Because yes, it's going to be boring. It's going to be boring as the last, but again, my theory is that this is her lifeline. This is her last attempt. I thought season 1 was her last attempt to become rebranded, because again, the only reason she made this cooking show is so that after she gets a divorce from Harry, that she can make herself famous without him. And that's why she hasn't divorced him yet, is because she might not be in love with him, but she still needs his status. The Invictus Games is a great example, because it's this games about like disabled veterans, and instead of that, we have the Harry and Meghan Games, and it's just very self-evident. Because Harry like goes along with like what she says, or like maybe he doesn't, but it's all about her and her brand trying to seem a certain way and to create her own fame that isn't drama, and evidently it's not working. What was my point? Oh yeah, so I thought season 1 was the death of her. She put out a show to create a brand, ARO / as ever, completely failed. It fell apart completely, and then she thought, okay, or I guess it's connected, because even though she has no, oh my gosh, just in general, a thought of mine is that season 1, episode 1, she should have been repping her business, ARO at the time, or as ever now. She wants to cook, she wants to sell jam, and she wants to sell cooking, like baking ingredients on her website. She should have been repping that out season 1, episode 1. That is my opinion, because a lot of people say that she's like trying to sell everything and like be a grifter, and I think specifically and especially with her show, when people think it's boring and they stop watching, they will watch the first episode to see if it's interesting. She should have been repping her brand then. That would have been the perfect time for her to show how she makes the jam for her brand, or how it would be manufactured, like the ingredients, stuff like that. And I feel like that was the perfect time to reinstate her brand through different medias, like her Instagram, sending it to random people, and also her show. But she did not do that. She could have showed, like I said, her making the jam, although jam is a pretty understood like mechanism or recipe to make, but it would have been something. It would have been something interesting too, because it's not just her making this random pasta. It's something that is fundamental to her and her brand, but she did not do it, and I think it was a mistake. Same with her making her baking stuff. I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, just like her brand was renamed, which was terrible for the recognition. And also, like, the actual logo is called into question, and there's legal debates about that. So she's probably going to change it again. Like, no one can look at the brand name and at the brand logo and go, oh yeah, bakery. Or oh yeah, jam, unless they are a niche into this community. I feel like her cooking show, season 1, episode 1, would have been a great opportunity to do that and to create a solid foundation, but the reason she didn't is because she doesn't have a solid foundation. And another thing she could have done is that she could have, season 1, episode 1, had her baking she wants to sell like baking box mixes. She could have shown that, and she could have did a tutorial on how to bake it properly with fresh ingredients or not. She could have just laid out the steps and said, oh, this is what it is and this is how you make it, and then, oh, this is also how you elevate it through like icing and all that stuff to create something that people for like other for like higher level circumstances, like professional cakes and stuff like that. But she did not. My main point is that, like I said before, she is on, I thought season 1 was her last attempt. Her last attempt to create her brand recognition for, I almost said ARO, for As Ever. And also to, again, create herself as this good person. And then I find out that season 2 is coming out, and I'm so interested. Because again, like I said in my theory, I think season 1 was the good filming and was the good representation. It was the good scenes that they got out of filming. I think season 2 will be even worse and even more far from the tree, or even farther from the realm of normalcy for a cookie show. And I'm so interested for it to come out. I am dying for it to come out. Because like I said, I think it's going to be more mask slips and less normalcy. Because she's going to be running out of ideas. She's going to be hitting the show with a paddle and seeing what comes forward. And evidently, and I think there's going to be less people on the show, more just her. And I'm terrified for that. I really am. Whew. Anyways, that's it. Anyways, that's it. I'm really interested in what other people think. Or if you do think that season 2 is going to be the actual good stuff. So please do let me know. Alright, thank you.